North Carolina Appeals Court now has ruled that unloaded guns do not violate the state's safe gun storage law. Well, that law can convict someone for failing to properly store the gun at home to protect any minors living there. So yesterday's ruling overturned manslaughter convictions for Kimberly Cable from McDowell County, and she was facing charges after a teenager used her gun to take his life in 2018. So joining us now to understand exactly what we're talking about, Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes. Khalif, so state law now makes it a crime for a gun owner to improperly store a weapon at home so that as to allow a child to be able to show it off. If they commit a crime or hurt somebody, then that law then can be applied. Is
That's
that correct?
correct. That's correct. And so the portion that the court talked about is that it was ambiguous, is what this kind of tiptoes on is. What does it look like to be stored safely? And in her situation, it was a revolver, and there were no ammunition inside the firearm. And so because it's a revolver with no ammunition in the firearm, and then the child had to take the ammunition and place it in the firearm, was that still within the guidelines of what the General Assembly was attempting to do when they drafted this? And the court said because it was ambiguous, those are situations that typically favor a defendant. And if you're going to favor a defendant in a situation where the law is ambiguous, this is clear that these convictions need to be overturned. I agree and I understand what the General Assembly was attempting to do. And I clearly understand what this case was unfortunate. Someone died. But I do think the court got it wrong in that situation because as a responsible gun owner, they did exactly what you wanted them to do. They had their firearm and they had their ammunition separate. It was readily available to that child, and that was probably something that also they did not want to happen. But if you're looking at the clear letter of the law, even if it is ambiguous, it wasn't clear. It was kind of clear as mud in terms of what they were trying to say.
Is this case done right now?
For sure. I mean, there's nothing else that could happen. I mean, they could appeal that decision to the Supreme Court, but I think that's extremely less likely to happen. I mean, this was a unanimous decision. It clearly, they cited case law that talked about the ambiguous of the law, and they talked about how if this is something that the General Assembly wanted to cure, if they wanted to change it, they can go back and change it. And so on its face, I think this is a punt to the General Assembly to make that type of change. But then on the other hand, as a responsible gun owner, if an intruder comes to your house, it does put you in a very weird situation because you have this law that says you have to keep it out of the kids' and not make it accessible where they can create a crime or harm themselves. But if you're trying to protect yourself and a person walks in, you want to fumble and start looking for ammunition while you're also looking for the firearm. It really puts the homeowner in a very bad situation if you're in an unfortunate situation where you got to defend yourself.
And when you look at the ambiguity of the law, what you're talking about, it almost seems like you have to have a separate, I guess, case as to showing a child how to put ammunition into a gun, and that then would be the crime, because if they didn't know how to put one and one together, then you don't make two.
And I think even in this situation, the cleanest example would have been if the revolver was loaded. If the revolver was already loaded, I think this is open and shut, clear within the confines of what the law was talking about. But if you have the firearm in the ammunition and now they have to bring it together, well, what the court in the lower court was saying is you didn't do enough to separate it. They should have been in different compartments, should have been locked separately. And because you didn't do enough, it falls to what they were trying to prevent. And we all can say this is what they were trying to prevent, a senseless death. But I don't think it was clear enough in how that prevention was supposed to take place.
All right, Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes, thank you.